for that's his deductible.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. I'll ask for the therapeutic community based on the mental health. And I do understand, based from reading the synopsis, what was going on with both parties. And there was bad behavior on both sides. But Mr. Giovanni, this is not a probation case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And are you Jason Giovanni Bustos?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on January 13th to count 1 guilty. The state waived count 2 without objection. You applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution and no contact to the complainant. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report
We have, Judge.
and the TAP evaluation?
We have
Any objections?
no objections, no corrections or addition.
Any objections from the state?
No, Your
All right, any witnesses state?
No,
Defense
no, Your Honor.
witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
Yeah, and my client, just very briefly.
all right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jason Giovanni Bustos.
All right, defense.
Jason, you admitted
Honor.
when you were here, you admitted to probation that you shot your gun at this other person, correct?
Yes.
And this had to do with on a road, you and another vehicle were playing jockey back and forth, correct?
Yes.
And I want to make sure the judge, the other vehicle was a F-150 Ford pickup.
Yes.
Then you had a 95 Ford Ranger, correct?
Yes.
4-speed.
Yes.
And you felt threatened by, is that what you felt threatened by the actions of your driver?
Yes.
You know now, when you carry guns, things like this can happen. You can overreact. You understand that that's not very smart. Right?
Yes.
That's not a smart thing. You overreacted.
Yes.
Have you learned a lesson?
I did.
You think that you could be successful on probation?
Yes.
A lot of reporting, drug testing, fines to pay, community service, maybe some gun safety classes. Think you can be successful in that?
Yes.
You have a drug problem?
I do not.
Pass a witness.
All right, any questions?
Mr. Bustos, so, I mean, you stated that you felt threatened by the other drivers on correct?
Yes.
But the encounter that you had with them, it wasn't a short encounter, right? It went on for several miles, correct?
Yes.
And so at any time during that period where you guys are going back and forth with each other, did you ever think to call 911 and to report that you were going to threaten the behavior of this other individual?
I did not have a phone at the time.
Okay.
Present.
And so, I mean, there are multiple streets where you could turn off or just went into a business and park. Did you do any of that?
No, there was heavy traffic during the whole entire incident.
Okay.
My first thought would be going towards the HEV that was right across from the highway, and I couldn't make it across due to just traffic flowing through.
Okay. And so there was heavy traffic in the area for traffic. So the way that you need to reconcile this is to fire a firearm twice. That was your reaction. Right?
That was after when I got away from the heavy traffic.
Okay. So why didn't you choose to get away from the other vehicle if you felt threatened by that?
I did try to get away from the vehicle.
But then you had still followed them and shot.
I didn't follow them. He,
not follow that?
no, I was being followed the whole entire time.
Okay. But in the stipulated evidence, it says that the other Ford was taking the turnaround, right, when you fired into the vehicle, correct?
No.
So, okay, tell me about that.
When I took the turnaround, there was an HEV. The entrance to that HEV was very close to the turnaround. So instead of proceeding, I decided to go straight. When I went straight to the first light, I decided to go on a right-hand turn lane. And I noticed that the truck was still following me. Once I noticed that and I checked my rearview mirror, he was already trying to try to jump over the curb to get to where I was headed towards. And I was trying to avoid just a confrontation from him. So instead, I proceeded to go straight. When I got off the right hand turn lane, I went straight when the light turned green to the other light, and I didn't even make it halfway until I almost got into an accident just from trying to drive away. My truck stalled, and that's when I noticed the driver was still proceeding and started tailgating, driving recklessly, maneuvering through cars through the traffic that I left behind. So from there, he caught up to me, and that's when I got scared and overreacted.
Okay. And so I want you to help me understand this, because in your interview that you gave with Detective Brand, it says that you stated that during some of the swerving that you catched up to the other Ford, and that's when the truck slowed down and tried to cut you off. And then
That was in the highway.
that's when you exited and took a turnaround, and then that's when you shot into the other truck. So on the highway, if you had an opportunity to catch up to him, why didn't you just go somewhere else? Did you think that your response was reasonable to shoot into his vehicle?
No, it wasn't.
Let me follow up. I'm well familiar with the location. I live out there. When you exited at the Leon Springs exit,
Yes,
Bernie Stage Road. When you exited there to do the turnaround, it's up a ways, and there's no place to turn off. It's a service road. It's
Yeah.
very heavily trafficked. And you make the turnaround, there's an HEB on the right-hand side, but there's like 3 lanes there when you do the turnaround. There were 2 or 3 lanes to be able to pull into HEB.
Yeah.
Correct. There's too much traffic. As there always is on service road, correct? So you continue straight. Is that
Yes.
correct? And your truck is a Ford Ranger or 4-cylinder?
yes.
When they're talking about catching up with the individual she brought up, did you accelerate to try to catch them?
When I accelerated,
What did you mean about trying to catch them? Or catching up with them?
what happened was, as we were driving forward
On 10?
on 10, he left it alone, I left it alone. I didn't do anything about it. There's no reason for me to catch up. I can't even catch up.
No, yeah, I understand.
Not against with the truck that has 8 cylinders against a Ford. Anyway, I noticed from about a quarter mile, he's already tailgating another vehicle, but then again he starts to pull back dramatically.
Okay. What do you mean by you caught up with him? What do you mean?
I mean that
Were you trying to catch up with him?
I
or
wasn't
just
trying to
the
catch
flow
up
of traffic, you ended up getting ahead of it? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so
Judge,
this
I may
is,
just say this one thing,
yes,
if I may.
well, just one second, because I want something cleared up for me. In the report, I'm reading the synopsis, and this is what the synopsis says in the stipulations. It says that the complainant was in his personally owned vehicle. The suspect was in his vehicle, and the suspect began to brake check him on the interstate. I understand brake checking people because sometimes people are riding your bumper. I understand that. I think it's crazy to do that, but I understand why people brake check, say, hey, quit riding my bumper. So that's not the problem for the court, that you were brake checking him. it says that the complainant decided to pass you and continue on his way. So what the synopsis so far is saying is that you were brake checking him, I guess, because he was riding his bumper. And then the complainant decides, you know what, I'm just going to pass this guy. So it says that he passes you, then you caught up to him, pulled up next to him, didn't fire your weapon, but exhibited your weapon to him, and then got in front of the complainant and started brake checking him again. That's where I have a problem. I can understand you're driving. Maybe the speed limit is 60. Sometimes people will be in what's called the fast lane on the freeway, and they're going below the speed limit, which is a no-no. But let's say the speed limit is 60, you're going 50 or 55, who cares? You're going less than whatever. Or maybe this person is speeding behind you. So they're behind you, they're riding your bumper, which people do, which they shouldn't do, because that doesn't give you time to stop if you need to stop immediately. So this person says, you start brake checking them. So I'm sure tempers are high. His temper is high. I know the complainant was probably upset, probably said a few choice words. And then the complainant gets from behind you because you're brake checking him and speeds past you. Maybe he gestured towards you or whatever, but he doesn't pull a weapon. So he speeds past you. That should have been the end of it. Maybe you get on the phone. You say you didn't have your phone, but maybe you memorize his license plate and call the police and say, this person is recklessly driving. But he says, what happens is you don't do that. After you brake check him and he decides to pass you, you then catch up to him and exhibit your weapon. That's a no-no right there. And then it says, then the complainant, instead of him just calling the police after you pulled your weapon at him, he pulls out his phone to start videotaping you. And then what he does, after you pulled out your gun and exhibited at him, he starts filming you on his phone. And then he starts chasing after you in his vehicle to film you. And it says he continues to follow you. And then they both took the turnaround at Bernie Stage Road and went on the access road. And it says that the complainant then continued to record you. And then you both got off at the 20,000 block of Interstate Highway 10. And then you came to abrupt stop as the complainant passed you on the left. And then when he passed you on the left, it says you started firing with your automatic handgun. And it says that the complainant was still filming on his cell phone when this occurred. So is somebody saying those are not the facts? Because that's what I'm reading.
The last part, Your Honor, from what I can remember, is he did not pass me up. He just stopped after I stopped.
Mhm.
I stopped just to make sure he can continue going.
So did you brandish your weapon more than once? Did you brandish your weapon at him first and then brandished it later throughout this incident and then shoot it?
I brandished it once,
And when you brandished it, you fired it.
only on the second time.
Okay, so then you brandished it more than one time. What the synopsis is saying, and don't feel that you have to agree with me. I'm just saying what's in the synopsis. What the synopsis is saying is you brake checked him. And then after you brake checked him, he went around you and passed you. You brandished a weapon. You didn't fire it. He gets upset that you're brandishing a weapon. So then he starts following you and filming you. And then you all meet up and you fire bullets into his vehicle. So is that not true? Is that not what happened?
Yes, Your Honor, that is what happened.
All right, if it's not what happened, just tell me. I'm here trying to figure out what the appropriate sentence is, but I do have a problem if you're brandishing a weapon at somebody, right? And then later you brandished it again. There's a gap in time for tempers to cool. And then you brandished it again and you fire into a vehicle. Did you know how many people were in that vehicle? What if there were children in that vehicle? In their you know, in their car seats, because you really can't see when babies are in car seats. People could have been killed. And then if you would have been a good shot and you would have killed him, maybe he would have crashed in other vehicles and somebody else would be dead. So you wanted to say something, counsel, or is there any other questions for him?
No, just something, an argument.
Sure.
Two things. One is 95 Ford Ranger, my wife, although she drives a new car, has a 96 Ford Ranger,
Mhm.
6-cylinder. She uses for hauling plants, shrubbery,
Mhm.
rocks, dirt.
Mhm.
Ford Ranger does not have a lot of pickup. Well, it has a limited speed it will go.
Mhm.
An F-150, it doesn't have a lot of acceleration. An F-150 has got a lot of acceleration.
Mhm.
So we've got a small car and a large car. I don't know what happened, but I'm saying there's a difference there, and the 150 ought not be picking on the smaller guy, if in fact that was what he was doing. Second off is there's questions about why don't you call the police? I don't want my wife going down H10 and getting off on the service road, going at 50 and 60 miles an hour, getting on a cell phone and making a phone call.
Oh, well, what
I-
I can, and what I can tell you, counsel, the whole thing about calling the police, that's not the big issue for the court.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he understands what he made a mistake. Also, I think he's had some mental health issues. He took medicine. They got him back on medicines in the jail. He has no prior criminal record. He had a job. He was productive before this happened. There's nothing in the record that says this would be a reoccurring type thing that I can see. Once he's learned a lesson, give him a chance on probation. I'm asking the court to give him a chance on probation.
All right. Is there any objection to the restitution of $250 to the complainant for that's his deductible?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. I'll ask for the therapeutic community based on the mental health. And I do understand, based from reading the synopsis, what was going on with both parties. And there was bad behavior on both sides. But Mr. Giovanni, this is not a probation case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with the complainant, and $250 to of restitution to the complainant. All right, we can go off the record. So I gave you something less than what the state requested because of the facts of your case. You're going to have to get a control of your anger, and you're going to have to start making better decisions. A gun should not be the answer to every issue that comes up.
This
right.
case involves a road rage incident that turned violent on a busy highway. The defendant, Jason Giovanni, told the court that he was the victim. He claimed another driver in a larger truck threatened him and forced him to act out of fear. According to him, he only fired his gun because he felt his life was in danger. However, the court reviewed the official police report, witness statements, and video evidence. These facts told a very different story. The report showed that Jason was the one who started the confrontation. He brake-checked the other driver on the highway. When the other driver tried to pass and move on, Jason caught up to him and showed his gun. Instead of leaving the situation, he continued to follow the other vehicle. The other driver began recording on his phone. Even after there was time and space to leave, Jason stayed involved. Eventually, he fired multiple shots into the other driver's vehicle while both were still on the road. Thankfully, no one was killed, but the danger was extremely high. The judge made it clear that this was not self-defense. This was an escalation caused by anger. The defense asked for probation, arguing that Jason had no criminal record and was dealing with mental health issues. The prosecutor requested 6 years in prison. Judge Boyd carefully explained that bringing a gun into a road rage situation crosses a serious legal line. The judge found Jason guilty and sentenced him to 4 years in prison, along with a fine, restitution to the victim, and a deadly weapon finding on his record. Judge Boyd emphasized that you cannot claim self-defense when you are the one chasing the conflict. Firing a weapon on a public highway is criminal behavior, not fear-based protection. Road rage situations happen every day, but violence is never the answer. If another driver is aggressive, the safest choice is to disengage. Do not brake check, chase, follow, or respond with gestures. These actions can turn a small issue into a life-changing tragedy. If someone is tailgating or driving dangerously, slow down safely and let them pass. Do not make eye contact or react emotionally. Your goal should be distance, not dominance. If you can safely do so, pull into a well-lit public area like a gas station or busy store. If you have a phone, call 911 when it is safe. Give the location, direction of travel, and description of the vehicle. Let law enforcement handle it. Never take justice into your own hands. Most importantly, never introduce a weapon into a traffic dispute. The law views that as escalation, not protection. Even legally owned firearms can turn a bad decision into prison time. Anger behind the wheel can destroy lives in seconds. This case shows that excuses do not erase actions. Staying calm, walking away, and choosing safety can save your freedom and someone else's life.